What do you do when the guy who's written the playbook for late game magic suddenly can't find the page? Tonight wasn't just a loss for the Chiefs, it felt like a weathered chapter of a dynasty getting dog-eared in real time. We opened with a must-win vibe. Primetime pressure, playoff math breathing down Kansas City's neck, and Patrick Mahomes expected to do what he always does, make impossible throws and turn tight games into footnotes. Instead, Houston's defense showed up like a thesis on discipline. They took the ball away, bullied the pocket, and turned two brave fourth down gambles into the kind of self-inflicted wounds dynasties hate. The first half looked like a statement against the Chiefs' recent fragility. Houston's front got after Kansas City early. Wanya Morris goes down on the very first play with a knee injury, and now the Chiefs are asking a makeshift OL to hold the line against one of the league's meanest pass rushes. The Texans outgained KC by a mile before halftime, a clean, quiet domination. CJ Stroud was efficient, the run game found creases, and suddenly the crowd that came expecting Mahomes' heroics sat observing a team trying to find itself. But of course, the Chiefs are hard to kill. They adjusted. The second half looked like the cartoon we're used to. Kansas City climbing back, taking over the third quarter, moving the chains, and reminding everyone why you never count a dynasty out. Kareem Hunt's 4th-and-1 bull run was the kind of muscle that feels like momentum. The scoreboard even read 10-10 after 3, everything still in reach, and then the fourth quarter wrecked the script. First fourth down call, ball on your own 31, tie game, 10 minutes left. You go for it. That's Andy Reid. That's bold. That's also the moment the margin for error turns microscopic. The pass is batted down, turnover on downs, and all of a sudden, a team that had been fighting to claw back is coughing up field position in the worst place possible. On the next Houston snap, Dare Ogunbowale, who'd barely been in the rotation, punches it in for a touchdown on his first meaningful snap. The Texans go up, and the tone flips. Then the Chiefs do it again. 4th and 4 in the same quarter. Another go for it. This time, a drop. Momentum evaporates, and to add insult, a Mahomes pass to Travis Kelce pops out of his hands and into the arms of Azeez Al-Shaair. That pick isn't just a turnover. It's the dagger in a game where the margin had already thinned. 3 critical decisions, 3 failed executions, and Kansas City's late-game mystique found a rare enemy. Timing, misfortune, and an opportunistic defense. Let's not be cruel to the history. Mahomes still flicked darts. There were throws that cut through the November air like a promise. But turnovers are symphonies of their own. One wrong note and the whole movement collapses. When you're up against a defense that's sitting on your reads and a coaching staff willing to gamble in its own territory, the risk-reward math suddenly feels less heroic and more hazardous. Andy Reid owned it in the press box. I messed that one up. That's the sentence that lands like a stone in the locker room. He's the architect who's won the big moments, and tonight he took responsibility for the calls that didn't land. Mahomes, being Mahomes, refused to point fingers. He said what everyone knows. These veterans have been the answer for years, and tonight the bounces went the other way. So what changed? For one, Houston's defense earned its paycheck. Pressure packages that threw off timing, discipline in taking away quick completions, and linebackers who turned into ball hawks when the Chiefs tried to squeeze plays where there wasn't room. For another, Kansas City's offensive injuries and protection breakdowns made the usual late-game theatrics a lot harder. The OL's first play injury echoed through the night in ways stats can't fully show. This loss does 2 things at once. It snaps a streak of AFC West dominance, and it threatens to shove the Chiefs into the kind of end-of-season scramble the franchise hasn't really known in the Mahomes era. The path to the postseason is still forked open, but the margin for error is evaporating. The math that had been generous now feels stingy. But here's the real headline no stat sheet will forgive. Dynasties aren't just collections of plays. They're cultures that answer adversity in specific ways. Tonight, Kansas City learned what it feels like when the opponent takes your late-game currency and when the coach's gambles don't pay off. That's a teachable scar. Big organizations either let nights like this fester into identity questions, or they use them as the exact kind of correction that keeps dynasties alive. So where do they go from here? Fix the line, calm the fourth quarter instincts, and lean on the kind of situational growth that separates good coaches from legendary ones. Andy Reid's confession is a start. Accountability is a discipline, and it can create a platform for corrective action. Mahomes will still be Mahomes, but even the best need clearer lanes to perform in. If you want the gut take, this one stings because it's avoidable. The Texans came to play, and they played better in the moments that mattered. But every dynasty has a chapter like this, a stretch where the rules of dominance are challenged. The question now is whether the Chiefs rewrite the stanza or let it define the verse. Drop your take in the comments. Is this a blip on the dynasty's radar or the beginning of a bigger reset?